Third game of the triple-header, Green Bay Packers 30, Miami Dolphins 17. Packers move to 9-3 on the season. Dolphins fall to 5-7. As we talked about a little bit coming into this game, Miami, big test, the cold, but really going up against a good team again as their offense was cooking. Just slow start for Miami. I know they started to move the ball in the second half a little bit, tried to creep back into it, but it was 27-3 at one point, and it was just too much to overcome.
It was a cold game. Why did we even bother watching?
Why did we even
We knew
bother?
the outcome.
A lot of the cold game narrative is built around Tua, but it was like Miami just forgot how to pass protect. I mean, everything that they were doing early on was awful, including their tackling. 23 missed tackles. That's the second most by any team in a game this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is reasonable to say they don't appear to be particularly well constructed to win cold games. Is it
because they're so reliant on speed?
Yeah.
And the cold, it slows you down.
I don't want to call them a
It's the
finesse team
grass.
because I don't think they are a finesse team. But when you do rely on speed and timing, cold is something that can affect that. Like, it's not, the timing is a little bit off because the ball's not coming out the same because things are slightly different in conditions. So I don't think it helps. Also, they muffed the punt almost immediately in this game,
Because it was cold.
because it was cold. So they just, this was like a narrative bowl, right? Everyone, they can't win in the cold. Look, it's cold. Write it off. And then almost immediately they muff a punt. They set Green Bay up. And you're like, this is just it's not helping the narrative, right? If you're trying to combat this and say, it's all just small sample size or it's all crap, right? Immediately they reinforce everything that everybody already thought. And Tua individually didn't play particularly badly in this game. I forget where the question came from, but somebody was asking us, okay, Miami didn't answer any questions, but did Tua individually sort of answer a concern about, cold weather games? And Tua didn't play badly, but the team collectively didn't play well.
He was still, look, I am impressed by Tua overall. I'm so impressed by what he's done within that system and everything. I made the point last week, was it New England, the previous game, where he had those 4 completions that just missed a fingertip. So he's making these fine, tight window throws. But I thought early on that was what he was missing. The open throws that he just hits in his sleep against the Raiders, against the Patriots, against the lesser teams, the lesser defenses, and generally at home, the ones that he hits with incredible timing and anticipation, he's missing a little bit. And look, it's easier to throw the ball in the South, in Miami. It's easier generally, not in a dome, but in their, friendly confines at Hard Rock. So it's a little more difficult. Now, eventually, again, I thought the second half he threw the ball a little bit better. Again, they moved the ball, didn't put a ton of points on the board, but I don't know. They still have the question about road games, good teams, and overcoming that.
Yeah, their offensive line, I think this is the thing, right? All heading into the season, we were just about ready to say, okay, the Shanahan schemes are simply able to overcome bad offensive lines. I don't know how. It's witchcraft, but somehow it's working. And this year, it's not for any of them. Okay, San Francisco have been down a lot of bodies, but Houston's offensive line has been a problem for that team all season long. Miami's offensive line is not good on paper, and it wasn't good in this game. And even their good players, like Teron Armstead, is actually remarkably intact at this point in the season for him. He's usually on the injury report, 17 different separate injuries at this stage. He's out there relatively healthy, and guys are just blowing past him for sacks. So the offensive line didn't pass protect particularly well, didn't run block at all in this game. Miami's run game averaged 2.8 yards per attempt. This is an offense that needs to be able to run the ball to have the kind of success that we know them having when they're playing well. A guy like Devon Achane averaging 2 yards per attempt.
Right.
The offense is not going to fire when that happens.
And the opposite, the Packers, couple big runs in there. Chris Brooks, Emmanuel Wilson. I know Jacobs didn't get a ton going, but again, a lot of missed tackles up front from Miami. So credit Green Bay, man. The other part about Green Bay is just their defense is much better than it was last year at this time. They're a better rounded team. I think coming out of every Green Bay game reminds me a little bit of the Vrabel Titans. Remember the Vrabel Titans? I'd be like, hey, it's Danico Autry this week. It was like a new player every week that would step up. Green Bay, has that ability, right? 2 weeks ago, Josh Jacobs, unstoppable. I thought this was one of the cleanest games for Jordan Love. Throw for throw, hit one of the deep balls to Christian Watson in there. A really nice, his first touchdown, pinpoint in the tight red zone. They schemed up a touchdown for Jaden Reed. Again, I think that's just a well-oiled all-around machine that the Packers have right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Packers are looking very good. I will say the other thing about Miami's offense, and this is not a new thing, but there's always been these cycles of like have the league figured out Mike McDaniel's offense and what they want to do, and if you just take away the middle of the field, or actually almost the reverse, if you funnel everything into the middle of the field and just collapse in on it with bodies. Yeah. So you know what the largest number of targets an outside corner for Green Bay had in this game was?
Not many.
2.
Wow.
Target leaders in coverage. Linebacker Isaiah McDuffie with 14 targets for a linebacker in this game. Linebacker Quay Walker with 7. Slot corner Keyshawn Nixon with 6. Linebacker Eric Wilson with 4. Defensive end linebacker pass rusher, edge rusher Kingsley Enagbare with 3. Evan Williams safety.
3?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to go like multiple other players, and then you get to outside corners. They did it. They funnel everything inside. They say, okay, cool. You want to do that. We are happy to defend that. And at no point did Miami counter that with, well, what if we played outside and took a shot down the field, or what if we just?
They had that last year, right?
It's happened every year.
They still wanted to attack the middle, but they had the deep shot to Tyreek Hill, the deep shot to Jalen Waddle.
There's no counterpunch in this offense at the moment. Teams are like, okay, you want to target the middle of the field? We know how to stop that now. Go nuts. And Miami is not adjusting.
Green Bay in third place at 9-3.
Yeah.
In the loaded NFC North. Impressive win by the Packers. Anything else?
Nope.
About the Thanksgiving
onward
night game.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.